So as far as eating meat, in Judaism, poultry and meat are in essence in the same basket. They're both considered. I know that in the regular world, people think that chicken, or believe that chicken is different than meat, and that's fine for you. But in Judaism, in essence, they're both put in the same basket. Meat and chicken is in essence the same thing, but there is a specific emphasis on eating meat during Yom Tov, during Shabbat, and drinking wine, not to the point of intoxication and obnoxiousness, but nonetheless, because the Gemara says that a person, because the body was created with certain needs, a person, in order to elevate to a higher level of happiness, has to enjoy meat, has to enjoy a little bit of wine. So there is a mitzvah to drink wine and eat meat on Yom Tov, which is the holidays, and on Shabbat. So that's the times where you need to do it. Second thing is, if a person wants to be vegetarian or vegan, I'm not really sure what much of the difference is between the two. I think vegetarian, you're still technically, you're eating fish still, and you're just not eating meat. Whereas vegan, you're not even eating eggs, you're pretty much you're eating off trees practically, right? Okay, God bless you. So anyway, somebody wants to eat trees, somebody that wants to do that's fine. You have probably a very difficult life, but you're probably going to look healthy. Listen, it's if you're doing it for health reasons, meaning you have a specific allergy to meat, you have a specific, it causes you major problems, things like that. That's a specific issue that has to be, evaluated individually. If you're doing it because you're merciful on animals, it's completely forbidden. Forbidden for you to be a vegan or vegetarian or anything because you're merciful on animals. Why? Because you do not have more mercy than God. If God instilled a rule into the world that the animals are to be eaten if they're kosher, and eaten if they're not kosher by non-Jews, and that's the rule of the world, and you think that that's mean, then you are insane. And you're going against God. Why? Because God created the world where the animals are created for you. They're created for you. And the truth be told, you cannot live without animals. You cannot live without animals. All these people that fantasize and pretend like they're not benefiting out of animals because they're not eating the cow. Okay, you may not be eating the cow, but you're still using animals. Why? You have furniture. What do you think? The furniture is only wood? Furniture has certain pieces that come from animals. You have hairbrush. Where do you think the brush? Where do you think the hair from the brush comes from? Where do you think it comes from? Okay, you have shampoo. Where do you think the shampoo comes from? Where do you think the shampoo comes from? Where do you think the soap comes from? Okay, you have shoes. Where are you getting shoes from? A tree? Where you went to the palm tree, made yourself shoes like Moshe Rabbeinu? Where are you getting these shoes from? You have a leather jacket. You have clothes. You have belts. You have animals. There's no way to avoid it. Okay, you may not want to ingest them, but you're still using them nonetheless. And guess what? When they're slaughtered by a rabbi, it's much better way for them to die than when they're slaughtered or killed or shot or electrocuted for your shoes or your jacket. So enough with the nonsense. If you're doing it for mercy, it's wrong, it's heresy. Health reasons has to be evaluated case by case basis. And again, even in the health cases, you should still have some for the sake of the mitzvah during those specific times. For example, myself, at some point during my life, as my body was, changing, for some reason or another, HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided that me and alcohol are not friends anymore. Not that I was ever a big drinker, but a few times a year I used to drink scotch. My scotch was Johnny Walker Blue. I would drink it, 3-4 times a year. That's it. And for some reason or another, as my body was changing, I started detesting all alcohol to the point where much of it gives me an allergic attack. And I never had allergies. Growing up, I never had allergies. But I would have certain alcohol. Somebody would give me, wine. And all of a sudden, my face started having an allergy attack. I have scotch, all of a sudden, allergy. Strange. Out of nowhere. Well, Kadosh Baruch Hu decided. So what do? Now that means that wine for me is no. I don't get along with wine. I don't get along with any alcohol. But I have certain mitzvot. I have certain times during the year that, let's say Purim or other place where I need to have a drink, or even for Kiddush. So I have a little bit. I have a little bit if I could tolerate it, but not as much as little as I could get away with, if you will. If I simply can't take it, I'll have grape juice. Grape juice still fulfills the obligation. I'm done. Many times, it's if I couldn't handle it at all, I wouldn't even have that. Why? Because it actually caused me physical pain. So if it caused you physical pain, it's a different story. But again, you should still try to fulfill the obligation if you can. If you simply can't because it creates major problems, then again you'll have a reason not to. But it shouldn't be a new thing. Definitely shouldn't be for the sake of saving money. It definitely shouldn't be for the sake of mercy. It definitely shouldn't be for any of those other reasons. Really, the only reason not to eat meat is either, or really for health reasons, bottom line. That's really it. Or you just, if a person is that poor they can't afford it, it's a different story. But generally speaking, I think most people in today's world can afford it to some extent. Again, you don't need to eat meat all week. No one says you have to eat meat all week. No one says you have to eat meat. In fact, the more righteous people among us, they eat meat usually once a week. On Shabbat, they don't eat meat every day. I know, like Americans, they'll eat a cow just for breakfast and a pig on top of it, and it doesn't really work that way. Most really tzaddikim don't eat meat until Shabbat. So you can eat meat if you want. You want to eat a steak for breakfast, bechavod, enjoy, but it's not normal. Not normal. I know in America it's like having couple donkeys on your plate for breakfast with eggs on them. That's like, breakfast here. Bed and breakfast. You ate the cow that you ate is the size of a bed. Next.
B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach, we're very excited to offer you the new Be'ezrat Hashem app 3.0. It's a newer, faster app, full of Torah, lots of Kedusha by the shiurim that we do, myself, Rabbi Ephraim, Rav Chaim, where you'll have also newer features where you're able to use the app while you're using other applications on your phone. You'll be able to share the lectures directly from the app. You'll be able to donate online and support our Kiruv and our Torah work that we're doing. And the most exciting feature is that you'll be able to actually ask questions directly on the app and get answers from the rabbis directly from the app. This is something unprecedented, and Baruch Hashem will be able to offer it. Thank you again for all of your support. Check it out. Make sure you have the Kosher Torah that will re-energize your neshama each and every single day. Call to B'chav Hatzlacha.